Welcome to the South Texas Amateur Tour Podcast, The Power Hour, with your hosts, Travis Salkowski, Dustin Hassan, Casey Graham, Jason Bird, and Michael Germanuelian. Good evening, South Texas Amateur Golf Tour. Welcome to the Tour Power Hour Season Roundup and South Texas Match Play Challenge Preview. My name, MD, your host, as always. Joining me tonight, absolutely nobody. Nobody right now. We will have Travis on eventually. We will have other people join eventually. But until then, I am running the show solo. So let's jump into it. So first, guys, we're going to talk a little bit about the weekend at Brack. The big things that we want to talk about are going to be, one, just the roundup. What happened that second weekend at Brack? We're going to talk about some of the rounds, talk about some of the players, who did what, who showed up well, and who earned a spot on the team, as well as who earned a spot into the horse race. If you didn't see any of this, that is a video. We did go live at Brack a couple of weekends ago. But we are also in the process right now of putting together the final list. And guys, I apologize. I have no wife at home either. So Miss Emma is joining me on the show tonight. Can you say hello?
Hello.
There it is. Emma, are we going to talk a little bit about the playoffs too?
Yeah.
A little bit of playoffs. We're going to talk a little bit about South Texas Match Play. Daddy's going to Houston with Uncle Travis.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, now go away. Now, guys, so much fun stuff to cover. So let's talk about Brack. Let's talk about rounds 3 and 4 at Brack. We're going to have Trace Davis. We're going to have Dustin Weldon on tonight. When Travis gets on, we are going to announce the official pairings for the South Texas Match Play Challenge happening in Houston next weekend. So lots to discuss, lots to talk about, lots of fun stuff. Let's get into it. First and foremost, let's start out with the obvious. Brack round 3. So rolling into the weekend from Brack, we realized pretty quickly Brack is obviously, as always, going to be a key decider on who's making the team. That is top 54. Pretty tough weekend at Brack, pretty tough weekend at Northern Hills for everybody. Brack is one of those courses where we go play, and the hope is that you're going to go score something low. And this was kind of a perfect situation, or a perfect example of that. Brack was in absolutely fantastic condition. First, shout out to Brack maintenance crew and the Brack staff for doing such a good job getting the tournament set up, ready for us. The course was in as good condition as it's been. Just a lot of fun, really cool, unique, and kind of different weekend than we've had. It was really a nice culmination of everything that we've been leading up to. Let's talk a little bit about some of the scores, because again, Northern was very difficult, very challenging. The weather was not necessarily in the players' favor. It made it a grind. But getting out to Brack, I mean, goodness gracious, Brack is Brack. We had beautiful weather, relatively calm winds, and I mean, it kind of goes without saying, Brack is where you need to go low and you need to put up some numbers. And we saw those players and we saw those numbers come through pretty aggressively. Let's look at round 3, starting out in Champ Flight. This is Saturday, opening Champ Flight. You have the likes of Jeremy Jaramillo, Seth Henry, Michael Freeman, Dustin Hassan, Stephen Evans, Mark Kacheski, Dustin Weldon, Bart Wilson, and Jolly Shackelford. That is half of the damn flight shooting under par. I mean, it's how infuriating is it? If you're Ruben Ramirez shot 71. That is a personal best round for Ruben Ramirez, and that is good for like 8th place in in gross, which is just crazy to think. Lots of really, really good golf played on the champ side. Lots of low scores. Looking at the results there for the net side, Mark Kacheski played really, really well, had a really strong weekend. He's already made the team at that point. He's really out here to have some fun, try and make some points, try and finish in that top 10 and earn a gift card. 9 under 62 is just a stout round of golf. Ruben Ramirez shooting his personal best, even par. With the handicaps, he goes and shoots net 64, and you can see a couple of ties there at 64s, a couple of 4 under 67 ties, things like that. But absolutely great golf all around. Let's go check out what is happening over in second flight. Excuse me. Let's go to first flight. First flight, you had a lot of great golf. I apologize, guys. I got some people talking to me in my background here. There's my... Oh, sorry, guys. I'm having some computer issues today, which is just perfect. Jason Bird, I believe, is hopping on with us now. Jay Bird, you out there?
I'm here. I didn't realize this was starting 30 minutes earlier. That's my bad.
Not a problem. Jason Bird, welcome. We're talking a little bit about the initial day, Saturday at Brack. Looking at first flight right now. I'm just talking about some of the scores, talking about some of the players. I mean, it was a Champ Flight was pretty much did what we expected Champ Flight to do, but very interesting out of first flight and second flight. Baldo coming out with a plus 475. I played with Baldo that day. He was, just lights out, playing really solid golf. Brad Gilbert didn't have the weekend he wanted to at Northern Hills, but started to trend in the right direction on Saturday at Brack. Trace Davis played really nicely at +5. Scores were pretty tight across the board, and it was reflective of that in the net scores as well. Apologize, guys. I'm jumping around here. Brad Gilbert ends up winning the net side, 3 under 68. Dakota Albers right behind him. David Thomas and Trace Davis right in the mix there as well. Willie Nichols hanging around, but really solid scores from our guys in first flight. And then let's talk a little bit about second flight. Second flight, again, made up of a lot of really good golfers. There's some names in there that, you see them on the list. You see them winning a lot. Lazaro Gonzalez, shocking, atop the leaderboard.
Shocked.
Absolutely shocked. Shooting a 77. Good enough for first place on the net side. He had there was a nice little battle going between Charles Clark, Greg Graff, Morgan, and a couple of those other players there for a while, but Lazaro held on, played really good golf, and obviously took the big points number away at the end there. Looking at second flight, again, with handicaps being what they were, Nicole Flood winning on the net side, but Morgan Graff, Rudy Fuentes, Roger Murray putting up a nice number there for fourth place. So a lot of cool scores there. Bird, talk to us a little bit about Brack. What did you think of the course conditions? What did you think of what did you think of that weekend in general?
Oh, the course conditions were great. I thought Brack was in great shape. I thought the weather was good. I think it was windy one of those days, but
got a little windy the second day.
I played pretty okay on Saturday. It wasn't enough to go on to Sunday, but I thought Brack was in good shape.
Yeah, and for you, obviously, you've been traveling a lot this year. You didn't get to play in as many tournaments as you'd like. I think that was really the only thing stopping you from getting further, or at least getting to Sunday. You were playing really well and made some good shots. But that Champ Flight this year is as tough to play in as it's ever been. We'll look at the round 4 numbers, and again, it paints a similar picture in Champ Flight. Like, it's just tough to get through Champ Flight when you've got guys that are just going 7 under, 5 under, 6 under, whatever.
Champ Flight's a gauntlet.
It's brutal. Like, you got to go play for net side at some times, especially on the Brack, especially at Brack. Like if you're just not one of those guys who's going to go make, I played with Jaramillo, Dustin Weldon, Baldo, and it was myself on the Saturday there at Brack. I believe we combined for 20 birdies, 18 birdies, and 2 eagles. I had one of those birdies. Weldon and Jaramillo were on a freaking tear, like stupid good golf. Jaramillo just was making everything he looked at. The dude's a machine. He's been playing that way. Looking at round 4, obviously round 4, we go to our top 36 after everything's said and done. Champ on the second day was another gauntlet. It was a pretty tough battle. Jaramillo, Dustin Weldon, Dustin Hassan, all kind of chasing down Seth. A couple little slip-ups from some players here and there, what have you. Obviously, it's the last day, toughest conditions it could be. But Seth Henry ends up coming out on top on the champ side. Dustin Hassan right behind him, though, at 2 under, was good enough to give him the win on the net side. Dustin Hassan went 69-69
Nice.
at Brack. A lot of credit to Dustin. Dustin came into the playoffs in 11th place. He was the only person to make it through 3 rounds and still be in 11th place. And it was kind of a weird day on that Saturday, because if you didn't shoot under par, you fell out. I didn't play terribly on Saturday, but I dropped 10 spots or something like that on Saturday going into Sunday. So it was a pretty difficult position to be in, knowing that you got to go out and grind that final day. But the people who have been playing well managed to kind of continue that trend. Trace Davis getting a 3rd place net finish there. I managed to pull a 2nd place. You look at that list: Nick Lewis, Seth Henry, Trace Davis, MD, Dustin Hassan, all tied at 5 under net. A lot of scorecard playoffs in there. Dustin Weldon, Ruben Ramirez, again, a lot of strong playing. Jeremy, 1 under. So a lot of good playing, and really a pretty cool weekend. First Flight, Jonathan Harder had a really good weekend. Taking that win, that 350 points is just so critical. So critical.
Yeah, it really is.
It changes everything. You can have, and we talked about it before, you can kind of slip up on that first Saturday at Northern Hills like I did. You can kind of slip up just because it's only 100 points. You're not out of it. But if you're going to play, you got to play pretty damn good golf Sunday and then the following weekend if you make it. Everyone on this list, everyone who played that second weekend, played really well throughout the season, played well enough to make it to the weekend. But that Sunday, last day of the playoffs, is just a different level of toughness. It's a different level of competition, especially for those people who don't have a secured spot on the team. When you look at, a Jonathan Harder, David Thomas, Tom Nelson, Micah Carroll, Sean Wolf, all these guys fighting for, a spot that they want and that they need desperately, and the points that they need. So big shout out to Jonathan Harder. Played pretty consistent throughout the playoffs, and that 350 points, just goes such a long way. On the net side of that, Roger Murray pulling out a win on the net side. Again, absolutely huge. Finish in the top 5 each weekend. But if you can get that win on Sunday, it makes a big difference. And again, you have Lazaro and Morgan, who have already made the team at 5 and 4 under. Jonathan Harder, who won, finishes nicely at 4 under. Willie Nichols, who's already on the team, at 3 under. And then you've got David Thomas, Jermaine Bowen, Eric Nisty. A lot of good names in there. But what we end up finding at the end of all of this is who at the end of everything, all said and done, if you joined us live on the podcast on the Sunday, the 14th, not the 14th, excuse me, the 31st. I've got my dates all wrong. What day was it? It was the 26th. Am I stupid?
What day for what?
What was the final day of the playoffs? 22nd.
Oh, yeah.
22nd. So we went live. For those of you who don't know, or for those of you who did watch, we went live and talked a little bit about the excitement of everyone waiting to see who's going to finish in the top 10. That's where all the math gets done. You and Travis and Dustin, everyone kind of behind the curtain doing the math and kind of figuring out who's where, watching people getting ready who think that they're kind of on that cut line for the horse race. It's really fun to watch. It was a fun atmosphere. I think it was fun just to be out there with everybody. I think it was also pretty funny just to watch everyone sit there. Normally you have people kind of hoarding around the scoreboards, just kind of trying to get a peek. Everyone was kind of glued to the putting green on 18 and making the regular play, the open play golfers feel like they were at the Masters or something with the giant group watching them come in. So that was pretty fun. But ultimately, we end up with a top 10 players who make the team, horse race winners, all that good stuff. I'm going to pull this up real quick. We'll run. I don't know if you want to run through this one for us, Bird, and just kind of explain what we're looking at here. This is being that top.
Well, this is the finals. This is the final standings of the
Yep.
tour playoffs, right? So
Yep.
the highlights are in yellow are the people who had already made the team. So for the purposes of filling out the STMPC, we would omit them. The highlighted in green are the qualifiers for the STMPC in the playoffs. So the last day. In blue is the wild card selection, which is the most points not already on the team. So that was Brad Gilbert. And, the horse race is in red. So you got Jermaine, David Thomas, Ruben Ramirez, and then Roger Murray ended up being the winner. So he is highlighted in, what is that, salmon? I don't even know what color that is. Orange.
Call it salmon.
But yeah,
obviously-
so the top 10 all win gift cards, regardless if you're on the team or not, right? Or whether so those top 10, yellow and green, all won gift cards for the overall playoffs. I don't remember how much they were. I think it's like $700 for the top one or something like that. I don't remember.
Something like that, yeah.
But I mean, as you can see, it's pretty tight considering the point spreads you get on the final 2 days. Morgan Graff edging out Dustin by 4 points, or Harder getting Morgan by 8 points. That's not a whole lot,
That's why we preach it so heavily. Every point matters.
Literally every point matters, right? Like I look at Greg eking you out by 1.25 points. That's what, 2 strokes in an event in the spring that you don't even think about, but you make that. Maybe you make those 2 putts or whatever, and suddenly you're ahead of Greg and you win a few extra bucks, right? So every literal point matters.
It really, really does. It's pretty crazy.
I mean, look at the horse race participants. Ruben Ramirez got into the horse race by 0.25.
And I think it's also really cool that we got to go. I mean, it's been situations where it's like, okay, it is the next 4 people in line, and we don't have, someone on the team in 14th or 15th or something like that. Like to get up to 18th and be able to get someone from the 18th position into the horse race was really, really cool. Ruben's obviously played before on the team. Same thing with David Thomas. They are former teammates of the 2022 team for the South Texas Matchplay Challenge. Jermaine Bowen having a fantastic year, fantastic season. Roger Murray, I don't think we talked enough about Roger Murray. I think he
had a really nice last day. Kind of put himself up there, right? He hadn't been floating around the top, and he got good the day he had to get good, right?
Yeah, and it was. I mean, it's one of those things. It's that win
Travis
on a
says
Sunday.
It's survive, advance, win.
Yes,
That's how you do the playoffs.
and that's what Roger Murray did, and more importantly, and if you didn't get to watch it again, it's on our channel, on the Facebook channel, on the Facebook page, and on the YouTube page as well. We went live from Brack for the horse race. Really, really fun to watch Roger Murray go out and play against David Thomas and Ruben, who have been on the team before. They kind of know what that scenario looks like, or what that pressure kind of can be. Jermaine Bowen, his first time going at it on the horse race, is same as Roger Murray. So it was really cool to watch, and ultimately,
I mean, the horse race is such a cool format. I mean, Jermaine Bowen had a putt on number 1 green to go 7 for 6. He makes that putt. Yeah, he's still eliminated, but guess who else is eliminated? The eventual winner, right? So Jermaine missing a putt that made no difference to him. Like, he was going to be out no matter what, right?
Yeah.
But he misses that putt. That lets Roger sneak into hole 2 where he's getting 2 pops. Next thing you know, Roger hits a shot where he's short left on the fringe, definitely puttable, right? I mean, it was a very good shot and exactly what he needed to 3-putt for 4 for 2. And, Ruben and David make fours,
made
I think.
Fours
yeah. For 3.
I mean, and
they were both eliminated.
And Roger made his putt not realizing he had even won. He was ready to go to the next hole.
Yeah, he casually smoked that guy in the hole, and he didn't understand, which is better, right? I mean, you don't want to know, I guess.
Yeah.
Ignorance is bliss.
I think part of you wants to. I mean, I would want to know, but to your point, I think the ignorance side of it, and just not, depending. Everyone's obviously different on how they want to have the pressure on them, but really,
it's like the exact opposite of what happened that one year where. What did Al Martin just tap in a casual putt on number 1 that he didn't realize was going to take out 3 other people, and then Jason Cross won? And if Al Martin just would have just casually tapped his and not gone in, we would have gone into hole 2.
Let's ask this guy. Let's ask Travis Olkowski about it. Travis.
Woo! What's up, everybody?
Welcome to the program.
I know. This is the first time I've ever jumped on late before. So it was very interesting to sit back for the last 5 minutes and watch the show. Like, I never get the opportunity to do that live. I always see it afterwards. But yes, it is Thursday night. It is November 2nd. Happy late Halloween. Talking about playoff points.
Early Thanksgiving.
Jump on. Shut the fuck up. Can you put those back up for a sec? Check that out. Tom Nelson misses the horse race by a quarter of a point.
Yeah, that's what we were saying. Ruben got in by a quarter point. That's like one stroke.
Okay, so I missed that. I missed that. I came
That's one stroke in one event in the spring, right?
Yes. So that's what I wanted to point out. Apparently, you talked about it already. I'm sorry I missed it.
Dennis Donosky are 12 points. I mean, that's one stroke in round 3.
It's one stroke in round 4.
Exactly. Yeah,
one stroke.
I mean,
maybe you get lazy and accidentally miss your 18-incher, and that comes back to bite you, right? I mean, hopefully that didn't happen to
that
Tom
happened to
or
Dustin
Dennis.
Dustin one year.
I think a lot of these were just kind of. I don't think anyone really played terribly on Sunday. I think there was some more challenges on Saturday for some of those second flighters and first flighters. The ones that did have a hard time that still made it through, kind of got put in a really tough position where it was going to essentially be a win or go home. But I mean, you got to give. I mean, nothing but good things to say and nothing but good credits to give. Like, especially you look at Dennis Donosky, didn't have the weekend he wanted. Obviously at Brack, but big shout out to him for his performance at Northern Hills. Back-to-back days of just pure beautiful golf.
Oh man, and I'll tell you what, his emotion at Northern Hills, just fired me up. Oh man, it was cool to watch him come in and high five people and was like career best, like high five, bam, and he really fired me up.
Yeah, no, absolutely. He was excited. I remember coming in on 18, and he was already sitting there on the tee on the green watching players come in, and he was just so happy and so proud of what he had done, and I think everyone there who knows him was pretty excited for him. So and he's been playing good all season. It's like anything else. It takes one bad round sometimes to kind of throw you out of it a little bit, and the time of year to not really do that is during the playoffs. And I know he didn't have the weekend he wanted, but big shout out to Dennis for his great playing. Dakota Albers had a hell of a season. Sean Vidal again. A lot of credit to Sean. Sean playing injured this season, coming back quick from surgery,
knee surgery, missed one event only.
Yeah. Grinded a lot.
What were the places worth on round 4? 350 to 315. They're worth 35 points a place.
Yeah.
What is that on this chart? 19th to 25th. One place.
Yeah. I mean, it looks like it's so much more. Like, I mean, you see like 35 points or 40-point gap, but really it is. Yeah, it's only one or two places.
One place, one stroke. It could be a scorecard playoff.
A playoff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
in bogey on the bad hole.
and like we saw on Sunday, I mean, the scoring was tight as all get out.
And there were a lot of scorecard playoffs that meant a lot.
Yeah. I mean, it was huge. I mean, that
scorecard playoff for real.
I mean, I believe because of that scorecard playoff, had it been a different situation, it might have actually ended up with Trace or myself potentially ending up in the horse race. With that one, because a bunch of us were tied at 5 under.
A scorecard playoff that covers 3 people would equal 35 points.
Yeah.
On Sunday at Brack. Yeah. Heck yeah.
So pretty crazy. But let's I want to pull this up. So this is your official list of the 2023 South Texas Matchplay Challenge team members. That is Willie Nichols, Morgan Graff, and Mark Kacheski making their way to the team through the spring season. Lazaro Gonzalez, MD, and Steven Evans making their way to the team through the summer season. And in the playoffs, Greg Graff, Seth Henry, Dustin Hassan, Jeremy Jaramillo, Jonathan Harder, Dustin Weldon, Trace Davis, Bradley Gilbert, Jolly Shackelford, and with his first time to the horse race and his first win at the horse race, Roger Murray.
Woo! What a
great
stacked team this is, and I'm so excited that we get to talk a little bit in depth about it. I love the makeup of this team. I love the handicaps of this team.
Which is very different from previous years.
Yes, and I love the personalities of this team. I love the work ethic and the practice ethic of this team. I'm really, really excited to travel. A travel year could go one of two ways, and this is a rock star team to travel with.
It's a rock star team to travel with. I think from what does this event mean kind of situation. This is going to be our first time traveling on a loss. It's a new golf course. There's a lot of, I don't want to say pressure. I know that internally you're going to say there's a lot of pressure, and I would say the same thing. I want to win this more than anything. But we've had a lot of discussions. I think that this team is as solid as any team that we could have asked for or had. And it's been really exciting to see, and we'll talk more about it a little bit about the practice sessions. We'll talk a little bit. We're going to officially announce pairings, and we'll kind of talk through what the thought process was on your end. Obviously, you kind of made the final decisions in working with Jason Bird.
Love that. Yeah.
Kind of discussing in what led you to those decisions. And, we have a couple of players joining us. I do want to start off, though, joining the program, making his second debut, 2022 South Texas Matchplay team member, Trace Davis. Welcome to the program, buddy.
What's up, y'all?
What's up, Trace Davis? I didn't know you were on. You surprised me.
Hey, I'm excited to be here, man.
Awesome. How's your Thursday night going? Get some practice in today?
Yeah, I just played Willow Springs, and it was really fun. I got to play with some friends and stuff. So, yeah, I got some practice in, working on some new swings, and just, working on the short
swing changes before a big event.
Oh, amen.
Fine-tuning an existing swing change is what Trace is trying to communicate there. Okay. We knew what you meant.
Yes.
That's awesome, great. Man. That's great. How was Willow?
It was okay. It wasn't the best shape, but, it was fun. Good company.
Okay, that's awesome. Good company and playing a little golf. Trace, talk a little bit about, this is your second year in a row. Did you find it harder to make the team this year, or did it feel like I've made the team before, less pressure on me, I know what it takes to go do it?
Yeah, I think, playoffs is playoffs, and I mean it's every day is a fight, no matter where you are on the leaderboard. Going into this year, I had a different mindset on my playing and stuff like that. I was just kind of going out there, and I was really trying to represent my faith and, who I am to the Lord. I got this company that I'm working with. And so that pressure of the title of the team, the title of a team member wasn't really what I was striving for. I was just trying to, share the gospel and just have fun. And I think that pressure, that mental pressure that's being taken off of my head, just allowed me to perform a little bit better.
Your swing is silky smooth right now. I really like it.
Thank you.
Really like the transition. It is. What did I said? Like every golf instructor in 1994 would teach that golf swing. It's so beautiful. Yeah. It's real long, lots of movement. It's just a thing of beauty right now. It reminds me a little bit of Jason Sandoval's action from a couple years ago when it was that real long, slow, smooth. But yeah, it looks beautiful. I keep working hard at it. I'm glad you're practicing. I'm glad you're playing well. Two teams back to back. The difference would be traveling. What are you looking forward to the most with it being an away year?
I think being able to go out to a course that I'm not used to playing, at least every other month or so, and just developing a strategy around it. I've played High Meadow before, and we did play a practice round, but still it's a very new course to me. And I'm just looking forward to being in the hotel room, Friday night, chalking up some strategies on the scorecard because, that's always the best. Those are the good times in high school when we traveled. Yeah.
That's awesome. MD, I'm sorry.
No, you're all good. I am solo parent right now. So
terrific.
I was jumping off camera for a tummy.
You do what you need to do for sure.
So talking a little bit about the golf course, you've seen it. Obviously, we had the opportunity to go play a practice round. Talk to us how you feel about that course, how you're kind of strategizing a little bit and prep for it. Are there any big takeaways from you or anything that you're doing right now to prep going into that weekend saying, okay, I need to be working on my short game, or, hey, long irons, I know I've got more long iron shots in, something like that?
Yeah, absolutely. My game strategy for every course is short game. You can miss 18 greens and still shoot 72 if you have good up and downs. For that course in particular,
Dunk it for eagle from the fairway.
absolutely, yeah. But we know we're not all Travis Salkowski.
Yeah, okay. Happens, though. Yeah.
It would be good to have that happen at the match play. Absolutely.
That would be yeah.
Yes. Now my strategy for High Meadow right now is fairways and just taking a lot of those trees out of play, because I mean we don't have Texas pines in San Antonio, and we don't have Texas pines in New Braunfels even. So staying out of that mulch and staying out of trouble is definitely huge on that course. Like I said, if I'm somewhere within 30 yards of the green, I'm pretty confident I'm going to get a par. And, you know, if I just par the guy out.
I love the emphasis on the short game.
Yes.
Listen, I share that strategy, and I love that. And for everybody watching, High Meadow Ranch Golf Club is 2 times as wide as it looks on Google Earth. 2 times. It is big, and in play off the tee is so important because it's big, but when it ends.
Yes.
There's no margin for error.
It's very like TPC canyons, right? Like, here's a giant fairway, but if you miss it, you are fucked.
Yeah, it's
well, not only that, it's all dogleg rights and lefts. So you know
every hole moves.
Every
hole moves. The first 12 holes move to the right, and the last 6 holes move to the left. It's crazy.
Sounds terrible.
It's freaking crazy.
And the rough, I mean, the rough is challenging too. I mean, you know, I can't dunk it from 150 yards, but I can chip in for eagle from 45. So
absolutely,
I have a dunk for eagle this year from 131 and 141.
That is a practice round. Travis. Yes. Pissing people off, kind of.
There's nothing
like
bogey
right now.
There's nothing like going bogey, eagle dunk from the fairway, even after 3.
Yeah, I'm on Google Earth right now, and most of these fairways are at least 50-yard wide. They're High Meadow.
Yeah,
I mean they are
so narrow. Yeah. They are very big, and you don't have to hit driver a lot. The entire team is playing the back tee box, the 6,800 tee box, and the last 6 holes are definitely the most challenging 6.
There's a couple 80-yarders here and 140-yarder. So, I mean, they're all pretty generous.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but again, there is a sense of placement to a degree because, again, if it's taking a dog like right or left, I mean, if I'm on the opposite side of where I want to be, like if I'm trying to cut the corner, if I'm trying to keep it, you know, down that certain line, but I end up, you know, blocking it, you know, outright or something, and I leave it now with what could have been 150s, now 180 yards.
Yeah.
That's MD parenting on the fly right there. Single parenting hosting the podcast. Good job, buddy.
Amazing.
That's big props there.
Amen.
You're doing great.
Now, fortunately, she's like fairly easy, but now it's the random bullshit.
Kaylin and Sabrina are occupied tonight. I picked up my folks flew in for the winter tonight. My folks do 6 in Wisconsin and 6 in Texas. So Kohler and Spring Branch, and picked them up at the airport. That's actually why I was a little tardy to the podcast tonight. So Kaylin is completely occupied right now. I've got silence in the house right now.
Cool. Well, Trace, anything, I don't think, does Trace know who his partner is?
I think it's been pretty private.
I heard some whispers.
It's been moving a lot.
It's definitely shimmy shaped a little bit in the last couple days. Prior to yesterday, I feel like Jason and I locked in some pretty solid pairings. This was such a great year for it. Very rarely did the analytics line up with some more of the personality traits and the gut instinct on what to do. And it really felt like it lined up this year a little bit. And after we got down through the nuts and bolts of it, we locked in pretty quick.
Awesome.
So I am going to show you, Trace, your official pairing, your partner.
Okay.
Trav is going to give us a quick rundown as to the thought process behind that pairing. And yeah. So,
Okay.
Trace, your partner for the South Texas Match Play Challenge 2023.
Okay.
Jeremy Jaramillo.
Gerimolo.
Jeremy
Wow.
Jaramillo, and Trace
Jaramillo.
Davis.
Okay.
That's floorball team pairing number 5. They're actually there's going to be some sense of order to those numbers. We'll talk about it a little bit later. But I love this pairing. Jeremy Jaramillo or Jaramillo, whichever you prefer, playing solid golf on the top end of
I think
champ.
solid is an understatement.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree. And ball striking is so good, and
It's in a mile.
we felt the need to pair Jeremy's elite play with a golfer with a super positive trend line.
Yeah.
And the champ flight, first flight level right there is going to mesh so well with Trace and Jeremy. Jeremy peaking and Trace trending good. It was one of those easy picks on the front end of the selections that lined up really well.
Yeah, I'm really excited for that. I love his game, and I love his strategies and stuff. They align a lot with what I plan to do whenever I'm a lot better.
And I think the strategy that the two of you incorporate on the golf course, the way you navigate and play that chess game is similar too.
Yeah.
Jay Bird, what you got to add about Jaramillo Davis?
Not much. This is one of the original ones that analytics spit out, and we talked about it. And we just kept it the same.
Nice.
We didn't change much, right? I mean, I think we changed 7 or 8, moved them around a little bit, but this was one of the original pairings that just didn't get changed.
Yep. Yeah, it's been that since the beginning.
That's pretty awesome. And I mean, we talk a lot about how Jaramillo's playing, but I mean, Trace has been, just better and better and better and better. Played great through the playoffs.
I played
rounds.
with Trace. I played with Trace in our first practice round up at Wolf Dancer, and
Wolf Dancer.
Wolf Dancer. I'm sorry, it's not Wolf Dancer or Wolf.
You
Dancer.
didn't play with it.
Lost Pines.
We played together. We played at Northern Hills together.
Oh, we played at Northern Hills. Yeah. I'm sorry. We played at Northern Hills.
He came to
Northern Hills, Lost Pines.
Came to celebrate your Eagles.
They're like the same.
Yeah, it's fine.
Totally.
Wolf Dancer is Northern Hills' big bad brother.
Yes.
Northern Hills is way
I also
harder.
said the same thing about High Meadow Ranch this year, so quit while I'm ahead. I played with Trace at Northern Hills, and I think I leaned over to MD on like 14 or 15 and went, "Hey, when was the last time Trace made a mistake? Because it's pretty solid, right?" And it was 1 or 2 over or some dumb number, and him and MD were going back and forth. And I think maybe at the time there was some chippy gamesmanship going on, well within the rules, well within the confines of that match. And not only was it good golf, but it was high leverage, high pressure golf. And it was fun to watch.
There was intensity coming down the
It
stretch.
was fun to watch, yeah. It was fun to watch.
That was a match of mental games on my end, and just trying to hammer pars in and just try to not make any bogeys.
Yeah, absolutely. It was so good. It was so good down the stretch. And I think, I say practice with purpose a lot. And I really try when I'm saying that to make practice feel like the real thing as much as you can. And that felt like the real thing.
Yes.
And it was cool.
Oh, I hated his guts for like 3 or 4 hours. It was real.
Awesome to watch. Trace actually grabbed the bag and started walking.
Yes.
They were riding in the cart together, playing against each other. We don't have to get into the nuts and bolts of the rule violation that was called.
Yeah,
it was really fun to watch, and I'm glad I was part of it. Trace, you're playing great, and
Thank you,
Jeremy Trace is a confident selection.
Thank y'all.
Jay Bird. Oh, MD's back. Okay.
I'm back.
Okay.
Very briefly. I mean, that's all I had for you, Trace. Congrats on the 2023 season. Congrats on the playoffs, making the team. And I mean, I've always enjoyed playing with you. I got to play with you a lot more this season. And then obviously, getting to be teammates with you now and dueling it out on the golf course a little bit. So it's been a lot of fun, man. Congrats.
Absolutely, yeah.
Is anybody else coming on, or is Trace staying?
I have Dustin Weldon up next.
Okay, we're subbing out Trace for Dustin Weldon.
We are subbing.
You just go
out
5
Trace.
deep.
I mean, I'm not sharing this. I'm not figuring out 5-person screens.
I will be silent.
Trace, don't log off. Stay in the background, and yes, if you want to hang out and watch the podcast, watch from the background, and that way we can click back and forth.
Awesome. Thank y'all so much.
Yeah, no, great job.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, blah, 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 blah. Oh, we're rocking.
Oh, we got a Texas Rangers fan. I'm all about it. Let's just talk some baseball.
Let's talk
about golf.
This might be the least watched World Series. Is that the statistics that I saw?
I think it was.
Wait, was there a World Series?
But it doesn't matter. So they still hand out a trophy at the end of the day.
Yeah, it still rings, right? There's still
Yeah, exactly.
They still
Five?
they still beat every single program on TV.
Exactly.
And the overall trend of ratings right now, anyway, is that people aren't watching TV. But it was still the number one program on TV.
I think during the regular season. The numbers were up, but the postseason was obviously.
Yep, they were up 10% in the regular season with the new pitch clock and stuff.
But now Travis's Brewers are on the list of non-teams that haven't won yet. So
yes, it's okay.
Yeah, Brewers.
Listen,
What's our Brewers game this year?
They went to Game 7 41 years ago. Against the St. Louis Cardinals. The Brewers
it's also
the American League East.
Bud Selig's fault.
We're tired of seeing the Cardinals too, because in 2011 the same issue with the Cardinals. So.
Well, I mean, how are you, the commissioner of baseball, own the Brewers? How can you be dirty? Like, what dirty move can you make? You can't.
Yeah.
So it's all right. I'm a diehard.
Did you go to a Brewers game this year, Travis?
I did not make it to a game this year. Actually, I even watched very few. Brewers made the postseason. They won the NL Central.
Yeah.
And then got swept by the Diamondbacks.
I mean, I saw a Marlins, Brewers, Cubs, and Diamondbacks game this year. So I got all the NL teams, and I did not see a Rangers game this year, and I'm a Rangers fan.
And
Nice.
the Brewers played in Arlington this year, I think.
Oh, did they? Nice.
I think they did, yeah. We've been there before. We've seen some Brewer games. It's a nice ballpark. I like the old plantation feel. I think it's cool looking.
That's awesome.
Have you been to the new one, or are you talking about the old one?
It looks like
the old one.
Well, the new one looks
yeah.
like what's it, Lambeau Field on the outside as well.
Oh.
Cool.
We got mobile pop. We got mobile. And we're walking.
And
You know what's a tragedy, Travis? Is the Brewers their stadium's no longer Miller Park. Did you know that?
What? Yeah,
I didn't really realize it.
It's American
AmFam. It's AmFam Field or something.
It's American Family Field, American Family Insurance.
It's just like the Indians were always going to call it the same thing.
It was a huge deal last year because the Brewers didn't give Miller a chance to rebuttal.
Oh gosh.
They just
the ballpark's still on Miller Way, which is funny.
Yeah, they just double middle fingered Miller.
Which his factory's like a mile down the road.
Yes.
That is incredible.
That's hilarious.
Well, let's jump back on track, shall we?
Yeah, see what happens.
Which means
see what happens when you have a parent.
Parent for so
what
many
happens
reasons.
when I'm
Dustin,
here.
welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me. Yeah.
Great season, great playoffs. How many teams does this make for you?
This will be the fourth team now.
Fourth team.
Woo!
Okay.
Be 3 on the road and actually 1 here in San Antonio. So
That's a lot of road appearances. So that's something to take into some consideration there.
It was River Ridge the first year.
Oh my gosh, the first travel year.
That doesn't even exist anymore. We closed that shit down.
It got flooded and shut down.
God, weren't those pants amazing?
Were those the bright blue ones or the bright red ones?
Bright blue ones.
Yeah, I think I still have them somewhere.
Oh god, that was terrible uniform. River Ridge, that South Texas Match Play Challenge was so brutal. We lost like 17-7. I think.
we got our butts kicked pretty good.
But we lost 7 full points. We took 7 matches tied to the last hole.
Yeah, lost every single one.
And lost every one of them.
Jeez.
On the second day.
Brutal.
It was brutal. I mean, it was brutal.
What's the old saying is you got to learn how to lose one before you can win one, right?
Heck yeah. So this will make every travel course you've played. That's a cool stat.
Right, yeah.
That's right up
Because
here.
y'all went to Wildcat 2 years. I didn't make it the second year. Or
3 years.
Yeah, 3 years. I'm sorry.
3 years. Yeah, River Ridge once, Wildcat 3, and then this will be the 5th year away.
Yeah,
right.
First at High Meadow.
At High Meadow, which their golf professional Casey Wade, amazing dude, super receptive of what we're trying to do with the partnership between Haga and the tour, and really.
Do they play an event for their schedule? Do they play an event there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And I think 2 events. I think they play there. But really welcoming. We went down with 6 guys a couple weeks ago just to sneak a practice round in. Course was pretty pure, and it had rained a lot. I mean, it was pretty good, and it had rained a lot.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, I'm super excited to see what that golf course looks like if it's dried out a little bit. The weather reports is obviously cold.
Let's be firmed up
this week.
Yeah, I think those fairways can be fast. They're big and fast. It's going to be a lot of hybrids and driving irons for 6'4", half-inch taller than Bird Weldon.
6'3".
Here it comes.
Oh, he's probably like 3 inches taller than me.
Well, it's funny is we took that picture on number 1 tee box for the horse race, and afterwards I'm like, geez, I'm like 4 inches taller than everybody around here. I don't even feel like I'm that tall.
I hate being taller than people.
This is the strongest short team we've ever had.
Oh yeah, I mean it is a team of.
Who's taller, MD or Morgan?
It was close.
I think MD's got it by the crown of his hat.
Yeah.
I've got it. Yeah, by the
if he's wearing a big flat brim, he's taller.
Yeah, and if he's standing up straight, he's slouching a little bit, so we're good.
Yeah, I'm slouching a little bit.
I love Jolly being photoshopped in there.
Yeah, let's say
you have Jolly. You have
and Laz.
two birds with one stone with Roger Murray and Laz.
That's hilarious.
That is incredible.
I just did a Lieutenant Dan. They ain't got no legs.
Chopped off their legs.
Well, these are.
That's what Sabrina came back and was like, I didn't see Jolly the first time. He's got no legs either.
Well, I worked with what I had.
You did fantastic. I didn't even know. It was great.
Like, I could have cut it where no one had legs, but you know what? I
think it
was also good for people to see who was there and who wasn't.
Oh, a little team building morale builder right there. Yeah.
Oh. Ooh.
Thank you for hanging out on the 18th green while the other groups finish.
Yeah. So Dustin, this being your 4th time on the team, this is going to be another road trip for you. Are you kind of recalling some of the prep that you did previous years, or how does your prep work for this event look like?
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of like you would see for the playoff events or any kind of big event you play in. So you kind of backtrack it knowing that you're going to play a practice round on Friday. I don't really want to expend too much energy probably, obviously, because Thursday's getting prepped and getting ready to go on the road. So you might hit a few balls on Thursday or chip and putt maybe a little bit, but I'm not going to do a whole lot. But leading up to that, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and obviously this weekend, kind of play some more and kind of get everything tidied up, and then once you kind of get on the road on Friday, everything's. I always say if you haven't found it by the time you get there, you're probably not going to find it on the range. So figure it out beforehand and try to get everything going there.
I love it. Practice with purpose. Figure it out.
Right. Exactly.
Practice with purpose, making equipment adjustments. You know, you've been playing great.
Yeah.
Obviously, you and I have gotten to play together a lot more over the last few weeks. Prior to the last couple of years, I just was never, even if I was in the flight, we never seemed to get paired together.
Right.
But obviously, like I got to watch you play the last couple of weekends, and I mean, your game is just stupid good. You make a million birdies. Your drive is just stupid long. I think
actually not the longest on the team this year though. So not even.
Well, I mean,
Seth and Jeremy got me.
Jeremy are
Seth
different.
hits it a mile.
Yeah.
Seth definitely hits it a mile.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just built different. That dude just friggin' cranks the ball a mile and a half.
It's like he doesn't even go at it hard all the time. Like sometimes I'll be like right next to him. I'm like, you didn't go after that one very hard. He's like, nah, that's a fairway finder. I'm like, your fairway finder is my absolute fucking missile. Like, God damn it.
There were 2 times, of which one time I also hit the ball well, that he was 70 past me.
Oh, that happened. Man, I think I played Will
Northern
with him,
Hills.
and he had me by like 100 on number 2. Like he crunched one on number 2. I think he had just like solid 3-wood into the green. Like it wasn't even a stretch for him. I was like, you gotta be kidding me right now.
He hits it far. So does Jeremy.
Jeremy does hit it far.
But Seth hits it far.
I mean, I think Seth's got to be like longest on tour, like tour regular at least. Like when he goes full out and connects, it is deep.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Casey Carnes is deep, but I think Seth. I think Seth is the longest on tour consistently. Yeah.
I hadn't played with Seth for fun or for tournament in maybe like 4 years, up until Sunday. And like I've seen him at the range, like I see him hit, but like I never watch him like out on the golf course dropping bombs. And man, just watching him swing, I'm just like, it's the dumbest. It's so dumb how far it goes.
The really cool thing about Seth, and Jason Bird made this comment earlier. My comment was his putting is so good right now that anything he touches has a chance. And Jason made the I was on the phone with Jason earlier this morning, kind of finalizing the pairings. You know, is this what we're going to do? Blah, blah, blah. And he's like, you're playing with Seth is dumb because afterwards you'll just be like, you play good. And Seth will be like, yeah, I shot 68. And Jason will be like, what? Oh, wait, you did.
Well,
what?
Well, it's
just like he'll be like, yeah, I played all right, and I'm like, you shot 68? Like, yeah, I shot 68. I'm like, what do you mean all right? He's like, oh man, I left a couple out there, you know, like whatever, we can clean it up. And I think to myself like, oh yeah, you did duff that. Oh wow, oh God, you could have shot 60. Yeah, you could have shot 61. Like what the hell? Like,
but I think it's also a very.
It's like the shittiest 68 you'll ever see, right?
I think it goes for Weldon. I think it goes for.
It's like watching Steven Evans shoot 69 and throw clubs.
Love you, Steven.
Well, it's also like MD.
It's a mind fuck too because you're out there hitting like you think you're pretty decent, but like it took me a couple of holes to be like, okay, I'm just never gonna get near them. Like if I am within 20, 30, 40 yards, I'm like, cool, it's fine.
Well, so it's funny is the first day at Brackenridge on Saturday on round 3 at the playoffs, me and Jeremy were in the cart, and I think you, MD, were walking with somebody else.
Yeah.
And on number 3, me and Jeremy kind of hit right by each other, and it was a pretty good ways, and I'm sure that's where you were talking about, where it's you have
pretty much every shot you guys hit
hybrid in, and we had maybe I think it was like 5 iron or something like that. So it wasn't a huge club difference, but yeah.
3 clubs.
Yeah.
Just 3 clubs. And,
but it was,
it was 3 clubs.
But you're talking about it was earlier when you're we're talking about Seth being a smooth rounds. Like we played on Saturday with Jeremy and all that stuff, and I look up on 16 or 17 after that. I'm like, man, me and Jeremy made a lot of birdies, and it doesn't even seem like we have, but it's like you add them up at the end of the day, and it's like, wow, it's just where'd they come from. So
I don't remember what hole it is or what course, but I remember sitting on a tee box with Seth, and I'm hitting 6-iron, and he goes, "Man, do I need more club?" And I look down, and he's got P wedge, and I was like, "Oh my god!" Like that legitimately happened. He's like, "You think I need more club?" And I was like, "No, I think I need less club." And he's like, "Oh, okay." And I end up like hitting it a little long, but not too much. And he takes pitching wedge maybe like 5 yards short. Maybe. Like it definitely was like fucking close. And I was like, God damn it.
I mean,
like he was like legitimately like consternated because our club difference is so big. And I was like, we both, it's one of those times where Travis, like, one of us is wrong.
Yes. I played as hard as I could, and I lost to Seth 2-1, and I hit 3 bad shots that cost me on 3 consecutive holes, and that's
pretty good.
A little bit.
I mean, you got screwed more on the putting than anything. It was the best putting I'd ever seen, but we had more like just nasty, disgusting lip outs than I'd seen a group have in a bit.
You can blame probably the cup liners for that.
Yeah,
it was 100% the cup liners.
Can we make a new rule for next year?
I don't like the cup liners.
Can we make a new rule for next year where the first group in Champ Flight takes them out?
We just pulled them.
And then the last group in whatever flight it is, third or fourth, puts them
I
back
would
in.
be curious.
I mean, we can just ask them not to put them
have
in.
somebody research in the rule book the definition of that cup liner, because I bet you.
Well, like the trail will say it helps with maintenance.
Well, yes, it keeps the edge straighter longer. It keeps the edge straighter longer if it's installed properly. It protects it protects wear and tear.
Yeah.
If it's installed properly, but it's very easy to not install properly. So I was even with Seth through 4, playing my ass off. I buried like a 10-footer for par that broke 2 feet on number 4, and to his fucking kick in.
Well, I think what was impressive to me, you, Dustin, you halved your round.
No, I lost. Technically, I lost 2-1 to Roger.
Oh,
yeah. Because I lost 18.
You lost 2 down, not 2
down. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, 2 down.
Yeah.
To take it as far as you did with him, given the handicaps.
Yeah. So Dustin played against Roger Murray at Northern Hills on Sunday in the practice round. And how many did you have to give Roger?
24.
24 strokes. That is 2 strokes on 6 holes. 2 strokes on a third of the holes.
So on hole 1, it was 2 strokes, and I know 18 was too. So I know pretty much I had to make birdie on 18, which is never my favorite hole at Northern Hills, but it's pretty much a par 4 for me.
Take Roger Murray to 18 was the task, right? That was the task.
Yeah,
that's what you're going to see in Houston is that volume of strokes. Yeah. So that was
and he played. Nothing wrong with how I played either, but he played really good. He kept it in front of him. He had a few errant shots, but for a 24 handicapper, that's kind of what you expect, right?
Is Trace still there?
No, Trace is gone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he played good. He kept it in front of him, and all the ones that he needed 2 shots on, he made bogey, I think, or 6 for 4 or something like that. So he kept it in. So it wasn't like I had to make birdies to win holes, pretty much.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like I was just making pars and he was just shooting crazy. I think he totally shot like 98, so he shot his handicap. So.
Yeah, I think it was freaking awesome.
Yeah.
All right, MD, what you think? Rest of the 4-ball teams?
Yeah, let's
show the South Texas Match Play graphic again. The full team, the full 2023 South Texas Match Play Challenge tour team. Willie Nichols, Morgan Graff, Mark Kacheski, Lazaro Gonzalez. Gonzalez spelled wrong on this graphic, Trav. Mike Emanuelian. And Stephen Evans qualifying from the regular season. Greg Graff, Dustin Hassan, Jonathan Harder, Seth Henry, Jeremy Harmio, Dustin Weldon, and Trace Davis from the playoffs. Brad Gilbert is the 2023 wild card pick. Roger Murray won the horse race. And the sponsor selection is Jolly Shackelford. This is your team. I did that all in one breath.
Yeah, I was about to say.
I absolutely love this team. I'm so excited to travel with this team. Really, really, really excited. And tonight on the air, we're showing the team as well as all of the viewers the 4-ball pairings for the first round of the South Texas Match Play Challenge next week, Saturday. So this is who you'll play with in the practice round on Saturday at Olmos. This is who you'll play with in the practice round on Friday at Meadow Ranch. And this is who you will play the first 8 points with on Saturday in the 2023 South Texas Match Play Challenge. 4-ball team pairing number 1. And it's just so cool that they're on the screen together. High-flying Dustin Weldon with sharp-shooting Mike Dermanuelian.
Let's go.
I think
that is a strong team.
This is also one of the pairings. I know Jason had to bounce from the show, so I'll kind of speak on Jason's behalf a little bit on how we talked through the pairings a little bit. But this is one of the original ones as well. We had this from the beginning. I actually got to see these two play together early in the practice session, and it was fun to watch. And it was a tough golf course that we played, and they played well. And it was an easy pairing to make, and it's been one of the ones on the front of the pairing board since the beginning, since we started talking about it. And it is 4-ball team pairing number 1. That's important.
So does that mean we're going off first?
It means you're going off in the first 4.
Okay.
Which is important to the selection process of who gets matched against who. So we'll talk about that as soon as we're done showing all the 8 pairings, and we'll talk about who gets matched with who and how that all kind of works. And that's really fun and intricate too.
Yeah, we'll keep running through these. I think this is a really good team. I've gotten to play a lot with Dustin over the last couple of weeks. Like I said, I've enjoyed it. Dustin makes a shit ton of birdies.
Well, like we played together at Lost Pines, and you carried my butt for a while, and then towards the end I picked you up, and so yeah, it's a good complimentary golf. So.
And a lot of good conversation too, just on equipment and some changes and some little things like that we saw some immediate results from, which was really cool to bring out that next day. And so yeah, I'm excited for this pairing. I think this is going to be.
I also think the interviewing on camera together at the golf course will be great, seeing as Dustin's 12 inches taller.
Jeez, we're going to be doing that from a wide angle for sure.
I know.
He could stand on top of the golf
tee box.
Yeah, no one noticed me standing on the tee box or something like that. Just
give him the ice chest that goes on the golf cart. He can stand on that.
That's a very real possibility.
I love this pairing.
My ego only takes so much.
Weldon and Dermanuelian.
All right, next pairing. Let's go to this one. I'm just grabbing them at random.
Oh, grabbing them at random. Okay, 4-ball team pairing number 4, part of that first 4 pairings. Brad Gilbert and Gregory Graff.
Can there be a group with less smiles in this?
I know, right?
It's the happiest group on the planet.
It really, really is, and it's one of those gut feeling picks. They're, no matter what happens, they're going to do their damnedest to put the ball in the hole as fast as they can, and they're going to have a shitload of fun together doing it. And it just made me smile when I saw the outcome with this pairing. And
well, I think we got to play with Brad. All three of us here on the screen got to play with Brad at Lost Pines this last weekend, and that was my first time playing with him too. So it was really nice to see his game, see how it is. very good player, grinder, I would say, and so is Greg too. So it's a good 4-ball match play. I think
Brad is hitting it good right now too.
He is, yeah.
Brad is the wild card selection this year, and you can't be the wild card without having a consistent year, right?
Yeah.
And that's really the word that I would use to describe Brad Gilbert, is just consistent. They're in play around the green, lots of pars, and that's the strategy being paired with Greg. Greg's going to get somewhere in that range of 9, 10, 11 strokes, and Brad's job is to make pars, and Greg's job is to make pars on the pop holes. Yeah. And really,
Greg's also capable of going out and shooting 1 or maybe 2 or 3 over par easily on his own ball.
You're exactly right. That's exactly where I was going with that. He had a great run in the playoffs, played great. Actually,
blew out the field in Northern Hills.
Actually, he was in first place after round 1 and 2, right?
I think so. Yeah.
And I just think the ear-to-ear smiles in this group is going to be infectious, and it's just going to make whoever they're around on the team, warming up and at the dinner table or at main event playing laser tag. I just think they're going to make it fun for everybody that's around them. I think that's what those guys do, and this is a really fun pairing. I'm really happy with it.
Yeah, those two guys are going to smile, right? And be the friendliest guys you're going to get paired with, and they're going to go kick your ass. All right, moving on to our next pairing.
4-ball team pairing number 2, again staying in that first 4. We got DH and JH paired exclusively on the initials. No, I'm just kidding. Dustin Hassan and Jonathan Harder. I really, really like this one. This is one that I had in the beginning, and then it changed a couple times in the middle and came back to it. Jonathan playing really solid golf through the summer season and through the playoffs. Dustin shooting a pair of 68s at Brackenridge Park in playoff weekend. Like, I'll never forget I shot 68. Best I ever did. Didn't move up in the point standings. I'll never forget that comment from Dustin.
Yeah, I shot the same day he shot 60. I shot 69 and finished like 8th.
And you fell. Yeah. It's so great. Fell in the point standings. Fell. Like you were standing when you said it. You know?
Yeah. But I think this pairing's good too because Dustin's experience. I think it's now 7 teams he's been on.
6 or 7, yeah.
6 or 7, something like that. Yeah.
This is 7.
So pairing him with Jonathan being a rookie, I think that's really going to calm the nerves a little bit too on the first tee. Obviously, it's a big tee shot too, but it's one of those. If you get it out there in front of you, get it out there to calm the nerves. And I think Dustin, how his game is, how his demeanor is really going to be a good pairing for that.
Dustin's a pump you up guy.
There is nobody on the planet who has a stronger mental game than Dustin Hassan. It is rock solid. You could roll bowling balls at him and he's going to drain the putt, or he's going to hit it in play, or advance it close. His mental game is insanely and unfathomably rock solid.
Yeah.
And he will be your biggest cheerleader.
Yeah. Especially if you got it going and he doesn't, he's one of those guys where he'll kind of pump you up and try to get you going. So
yeah. I mean, that's a really strong pairing. Jonathan's going to have a lot of support, and he's got probably one of the best, cheerleaders to have in the cart with you as well.
Yeah, which is huge.
Yeah, I mean that being able to have that partner, and if one of you is down, getting the other one back up, or just maintaining that level of energy, and that's. I haven't gotten to play with Jonathan Harder before, but I sure as shit know Dustin.
Jonathan won first flight.
He won round. He
won
round 3. He run round 4. Excuse me. Yeah.
He
7 over.
Won round 4.
Yep.
350 points, which put him in a huge spot.
Yes, and Dustin Hassan won Champ Flight net on the final day of the playoffs. So they got to hang out together a little bit, watching the horse race, and really, really comfortable. Excited to see what this pairing can do together. And you're right, it's 7 years for Dustin. I believe Dustin Hassan and Casey Graham each have 7 stars, and Sean Vidal is the leader in the clubhouse with 8.
Yep.
8 teams made Sean Vidal, the tour goat.
Yep.
All right. Well, moving on to the next pairing.
Pairing number 3, the last of the first 4. I also like this pairing. This one came together at the end. This is one of the last changes we made. Also, Jolly, that's a typo on Jolly. There's supposed to be 2 L's there. I made the graphics really fast before I jumped on the podcast for MD here. So this was last minute. I apologize. It's 2 L's in Jolly Shackelford. I believe he's watching right now. Shout out to this year's South Texas Match Play Challenge sponsor, Jolly Shackelford and Par 5 Spray Foam. Jolly Shackelford and Willie Nichols. Like I said, this was one of the last changes that we made to the pairings. I think this one came together somewhere around Tuesday afternoon.
What was your reasoning behind pairing these 2 together, Travis?
The outgoing personalities of both really stuck together for me over the statistics and the analytics that kind of led Jason to a different way with both of them.
Interesting.
I could have a conversation with both of those dudes about anything for a long time.
You can,
and not get bored.
It's similar to DH as well. I think Jolly's a huge cheerleader, especially for Willie. Even Willie's been playing some great golf. But if either one of those guys gets a little bit wayward, a little bit down, I think either one of them can pick him up quickly, and it's going to be great.
I agree completely. I really like this. That is also going to be a fun cart to be part of. My cheerleading pep talk for Jolly and Willie. Again, I'm sorry. The only thing I can look at on the screen is Jolly's name wrong. Oh my goodness.
The only 2 team members that have 2 L's in their name.
It's the Photoshop keystrokes. I was typing faster than it was. Yes.
Your brain spelled out 2, but the fingers typed out 1.
Oh, man. But I definitely hit the L twice for sure, maybe 3 times. But again, my coaching strategy, my captaining strategy for Jolly and Willie together would be get up fast and have fun, right? Yeah. Jolly's the low handicap in this pairing, but not by much. So this pairing will be giving up strokes almost for sure. So their goal is going to be to capitalize on the openings when the openings happen. And really have fun doing it. And there's going to be a lot of smiles in that golf cart too.
Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely.
I think not just this match, but if we could, any match, if you could jump out with a one up lead or something like that in the first 3 holes, that's huge. I mean, put the pressure back on them, kind of put them in a defensive spot versus you trying to have to go chase.
Lots of high-fiving. There's going to be lots of fist pumping. There's going to be lots of yelling in this one. This is going to be a fun match to watch.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. All right, moving on. Oh God, I thought I grabbed the right one. Okay. Well, you want to talk about some noise and some fist pumps and some
determination.
Celebrating. I mean,
4-ball.
You will hear Steven Evans across the damn course.
The word that I would use to describe this pairing, 4-ball team pairing number 6. Steven Evans and the 2023 Tour champion, Lazaro Gonzalez. His name's spelled right here. The word I would use to describe this team is intense. I can see them together standing hip by hip on the first tee, just staring silently down the fairway.
just staring through the soul of the other team, probably.
Yes, and it's just in this just piercing gaze. And when I see Steven look like that, and when I saw Laz look like that at Almost Basin in the PC Open, where it was just like, I've got this, no problem, here it comes. And when you see Steven stand on the number 1 tee, and you can just see that level of in the zone come out. And I think Steven is going to pull that out of Laz, and Laz is going to pull that out of Steven. And I think this pairing is electric.
So I have 2 things here, Travis. One, did you make Laz a separate team hat to go with his current hat style?
I did not, but if somebody has a hat like that, I can make that happen.
Okay. 2, should we expect Steven Evans to wear the same hat just to be a good teammate? Should Steven Evans be wearing a bucket hat?
Listen, I want you to know that I'd recommend that 10 days ago, but Steven has cut the flowing mane.
The playoff locks are gone.
The pride of Wales has cut his hair.
Pride of Wales.
Yes, I think it would have looked really cool 10 days ago with his flow coming from underneath the fedora.
Greg's comments were pretty good too.
Yes, sure. I'm on board for that. Whatever. I'll put the logo on the chef hat.
We should get some Payne Stewart hats with some knickers.
Yes.
I'm already looking at hats online right now on Amazon.
I really like this. Really like this pairing. Again, I think this will be one of the more intense, more focused, serious, and I really think this is a good pairing. Jeremy, shout out. Played with Steven and Laz at Northern. These dudes are going to ball out together in Houston. Really like this one. And it's just, I really, really like the word intensity to describe it. This one's going to be
absolutely fun. All right, moving on. Team pairing number 5. Speaking of
pairing number 5, Jeremy Jaramillo. He goes by Jeremy Jaramillo, though, right now. And Trace Davis. Trace was on the podcast just a little bit ago, so he got to see this pairing announced live on the air, which is really cool. Jeremy and Trace. This was one of the teams that Bird had from the beginning. I switched around a little bit on my side, and then we settled very late in the game, very similar to Jolly and Willie. Jeremy is just so good right now.
Steady.
And we felt the need to pair Jeremy with a golfer with the best trend line. And one of those golfers with an amazing trend line was Trace. And the way Trace is going to respect Jeremy's game is just going to make this pairing just mesh so well. Trace is playing so good right now. I played with Trace at Northern Hills this past weekend, and
I think I played almost every tournament round of the playoffs with Jeremy too, and it was like you said, he shot 7 under at Brackenridge the first day. He shot 4 or 5 under, I think maybe 3 under the second day. But yeah, he played really good, just steady, makes a lot of birdies, doesn't make too many mistakes, which will be great in Houston, especially giving up strokes. But
Jeremy's bounce back statistic was really, really good. Not letting a bogey consume you and moving on quickly and coming back with a good score really quick.
Yeah, talking about DH's mental game earlier, Jeremy's is right up there with him.
And I said earlier that it was really important to me to pair Jeremy with the statistically trending highest golfer, the best trend line. And one of those top trends was Trace, and really like this pairing, and this one's going to be fun to watch too. I really like this team. The mesh between rookies and veterans, the mesh between, the plus handicaps. I mean, we have 4 pluses and a 0 with the higher handicaps. Just really, really worked out well.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be really exciting to watch this group, and I think I'm really excited to see, especially once we get. I'm excited to see Dustin out there. I'm excited to see Weldon out there. I'm excited to see Jaramillo out there. I'm excited to see Seth out there. Like I said, their distances are just so long. I'm interested to see how they manage the golf course.
This pairing, you got to figure. Let's say the par 5s at High Meadow are gettable, and
all gettable in 2.
And Jeremy gets one of the shorter par 4s, and Jeremy's got 5 birdies around, right? No pressure.
Heck, I think today on Saturday he had 2 eagles at Brackenridge.
Yes. Yep. So let's say Jeremy's playing solid. Jeremy's playing well. Jeremy in this case is going to pull Trace up to him every time.
Yeah,
and Trace is that player who's going to play up, and this has potential to be career golf for Trace. I think the golf course sets up well for Trace. I think the partner sets up well for Trace, and I think we could see really, really good stuff. We know we're going to get good stuff from Jeremy, right? You're going to get good scores, good playing, good drama from Jeremy, but I think Jeremy has the chance to make Trace play electric.
Yeah, absolutely. Onward. Team pairing number 7.
Team pairing number 7. This was one of my picks. I pushed for this one hard in the selection. This is one of the strategies that I like to do with the South Texas Matchplay Challenge team being a net event. Remember that. It's a net event. And it's difficult to look down at the pairings and see Seth's plus 5.5 on a net spreadsheet, right? Well, what's the best thing you do with your plus 5.5? You got to give 5.5 back, but you get it to yourself too, right?
Right.
Yeah, sorry. Got distracted there. What do? You give those 5 points or 5 pops, 5 handicap strokes to the most distribution you can on your team too, right? So Seth's plus 5 makes Roger's 23 a 28. And now Roger on our team is complementing Seth's game, which is elite right now. It's elite right now.
Elite.
And all of a sudden, Roger's complimenting Seth, and Seth now has 30 pops on his scorecard.
Right.
Right?
Kind of frees him up a little bit too.
Oh my God.
That was my captain strategy to Seth when I was having the conversation with him about this pairing.
But even if you give Roger 23, I think that's going to be a lot for him too. Because obviously I played with him on Sunday this last weekend at Northern Hills. But if he just keeps it in front of him, like we probably would, if you said like High Meadow Ranch is pretty a big ballpark, I think that's going to be a huge help.
Yes, and now the strategy for Seth was, Seth, you let Roger handle the match play stuff, right? You let him pay attention to what's going on in the match, and you go out and play stroke play.
Go get 5-6 birdies, yeah.
Yes, and he's gonna have eagle shots on 3 of those 4 par 5s for sure, if not all of them. And Roger with 24 to 30 strokes, 3 or 4 pars, 3 or 4 bogeys, net birdies that are going to have holes. I think this
Well, like that number 12 at Northern Hills, I had to give 2 shots to Roger, and he made a 4 for a net too. I'm like, well, okay. So
I agree.
I mean,
I agree
think it's a
with the comment
1-2
that
punch.
Greg Graff just made. I agree. Roger starts making a couple pars and they will destroy. I think this Seth Roger pairing has a chance to be last year's Stephen Morgan 8-7, 87 stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a 1-2 punch. I think Seth's distance is going to be immediately demoralizing. And then I think Roger just having that many pops, and I think that golf course, to be honest, I mean, I'm thinking back to it, and I think it'll be a course that'll suit what I've seen him do, and I think you put those two together. I mean that is a fun combo between the two of them for sure. That'll be really fun to watch. And with that being said, moving on to our final pairing number 8.
Pairing number 8, the last pairing of the last 4. Now it says pairing number 8. Those numbers definitely mean something, but they don't mean this was the last one we put together. This was the first pairing I put together. I've had this as the lock on my on my sword. This one, I'm going to battle with this one. This is my first choice. This is a really good pairing. I think the personalities mesh really well together. I think the time in the golf cart spent is going to be spent positive, talking strategy, talking golf the whole way. And that's going to be fun for them. So they're going to be talking strategy, talking golf to the point where we'd be like, oh my God, stop talking. But they're going to be loving every second of it together. Mark is the low handicap here. And Morgan, I'm going to say Morgan's the higher handicap, but her handicap's 30% less than it was last year at this time.
And they've both been trending good.
They're both trending the right direction, like the really right direction.
Yeah. And this was the first pick I made. This has been a lock for me since the horse race teed off, in my opinion.
Well, there you have it. That those pairings. I mean, here is your South Texas Match Play Challenge Team 2023.
Really excited. The website will be updated this week from the playoff information to the South Texas Match Play Challenge information. A little bit about the event, how it works. It is a Ryder Cup style format. There are 8 points available the first day, with 4-ball matches, which is best ball, 2-person best ball, right? 1 best ball of the team. And then 16 singles matches on Sunday. So you heard me talking about 4-ball pairing 1, 2, 3, 4, 4-ball pairing 5, 6, 7, and 8. So the away team chooses 4 4-ball pairings and 8 singles players and sends them to the home team the week before as the first half of the selection. Those are the half of the team the away team is offering to the home team. The home team pairs their roster to those first halves and sends back the second half of their team, which the away team then pairs against. That's how the matches are created every year. Not a lot of people know that, so I thought that was really cool to share. So, MD, if you want to bring up our first 4 graphics, can you see that?
Our first 4.
We'll have to cycle through them.
Yes.
The first 4-ball pairings that the tour is sending to Houston are MD and Weldon. I don't have any of them memorized.
Give me 1 second. I'm sorry. I was deleting them off the screen as we were going, so I.
And these also are the other 8 players that are be the top first 8 players possibly picked on Sunday.
Same exact list for me. Yep. Pairing number 1, Dustin and Mike going Dustin Hassan and Jonathan Harder going. Jolly Shackelford and Willie Nichols going to Houston on the 1st. And Brad Gilbert and Greg Graff. Sometimes I use the term offer up to the wolves here a little bit. The Houston team is also a statistically strong team for them. So Greg Graff in the comment section. I can't keep a straight face. He's talking about photoshopping. 2 people don't have legs. It's actually 3 people, Greg. You missed Jolly Shackelford as well on the left-hand side. He doesn't have legs either, Lieutenant.
That's just such a good Photoshop then.
I know. It's so good.
It's so seamless.
So good. Oh, look at how tall Dustin Weldon is.
I mean, it's stupid.
I wasn't even trying to stand up straight either.
What a good team this year is. I'm so excited to travel with this team.
But like you said earlier too, it's high handicappers, low handicappers, it's mid handicappers, just pretty much steady across the board, and be a good team.
And every single one of these players is trending really well in their game. I think is the other thing, and that's not always the case. You spend, you think about, we get, back to back. We have almost 4 straight weeks of back to back days of golf. It's a lot of golf. It's a lot of practice. It's a grind. And by the end of the playoffs, there's a time and there's a feeling of like, shit, I'm exhausted and feeling a little bit maybe tired. Sometimes the game falls off a little bit. Every single person in this picture has been playing well for the last several weeks, finish the playoffs and go into practice rounds, and we're seeing significantly good golf and continuance of good golf from them.
Which is nice too.
No seniors
either. Which is cool too. Is like the guys from the spring season that made it are still playing good, even though they made it. 4 or 5 months ago?
Yeah.
So
I agree.
Yeah.
Well, and that's this is all of this stuff is a grind. It's every point matters. We talk about it over and over. And here we are. We now have our 16 team members plus our captain Travis Okowski and vice captain Jason Bird.
Woo!
And we have caddies coming too. We're gonna have some family there. If
do we have to tip the caddy?
Nothing. I'm not tipping Micah at all. I'm giving him a bed to sleep on. That's enough.
No, I heard a rumor that Casey Graham is going to make an appearance caddying for Dustin Hassan. I believe that negotiation is happening. Nice. I know Mike is caddying for you. I assume Brad Gilbert's buddy's coming for him.
I assume Brad is bringing his.
Does Brad have a bib too for him?
Brad has a bib. Oh yeah, for sure. He might have the original bib.
I think Casey has an existing bib already. I had ordered a custom bib made for Micah, and I think we have an existing bib already for Brad.
And then there's a bigger rumor on the street that Clint is going to caddy for Trace.
Okay.
So
I like that.
I would love to see that. That would be amazing. I don't know if that's going to happen. It's just a rumor I heard from a friend of a friend of a friend.
So your sources are pretty good.
I don't know. Yeah, I probably just made it up. Yeah,
that's a lot more friends than I thought you had.
I know, right? Oh.
I didn't think you went that deep into the friends list.
Just I get a lot of grief for this comment, but I try to put my friends together in foursomes. Yeah.
I mean, that's just
it makes the phone calls easy.
That's just the golfer in you right there.
Yeah. I at max have 3 to 4 friends because
you
know who I need to call for golf. Well, guys, it's 9:00. It's 9:10. We've been on the air for an hour 40.
Woo, what a cool show!
Right about on time with what I was hoping where we'd be. But everyone out there, thank you for watching tonight. We have a South Texas Match Play Challenge team. Next week, we'll have a South Texas Match Play special again, just kind of leading up We'll have some photos. We'll have some videos.
So fun.
Maybe
So fun.
a guest or two from Houston, and it's going to be a good time. And then we're off to Houston Friday morning. We'll be in the car early, heading to Houston to get this weekend going. We'll be going live on. We'll do a recap and go live on Friday night, Saturday night. Do Facebook Live and that kind of stuff. So we'll be sure to keep you guys in the mix. Obviously, we'll have links to Golf Genius, all that good stuff as well for you. So lots more to come, but it is
website, stxamtour.golf will be updated by the end of the week. Moving from the playoff information, which has officially wrapped up, and now a couple weeks ago we are all done, and we'll move that to South Texas Match Play Challenge information. I expect to see a practice round Golf Genius link that'll be shared so you can follow along and watch your favorite team member in their practice round. I would expect maybe a little MD Facebook Live with the captains.
I mean,
sometime during this weekend's round, and especially as we get to Friday, I really want I've really kind of tasked MD a little bit to not only be on the team and play great, but kind of video log what the whole process has been like. As
I don't have anything else to do, so sure.
As we travel, as he packs the car, what's he thinking, what's he preparing for, and we'll kind of really show those recaps as we go along. And then we'll see it at the team dinners, at the team meeting, setting up for the team meetings coming up, things like that. We'll see a lot more interaction coming down the stretch, and how kind of maybe some of the behind the scenes stuff that you can't see on the Golf Genius leaderboard.
I'll just post a picture of a chicken running around with its head cut off. It's pretty similar.
That's kind of what it feels like. It's like empty, add this to the list. Trav,
job parent, STA, South Texas Am Tour.
I mean, I got a million hats.
Fireball connoisseur. Yeah.
I had that. Cindy went to Costco yesterday, and I was like, "Hey, I need you to go pick up another bucket." I got golf this weekend, and I'm away next weekend. It's cheaper to go buy a bucket at Sam's Club. Please and thank you. She came over with a new bucket for me. I'm like, we're in good shape.
That's awesome.
So excited. Congratulations to the Texas Rangers on the World Series. Obviously, Dustin, very excited.
Yeah.
Excited to be paired up with Dustin. I think it's going to be a really, really fun weekend. Looking forward to this weekend as well. Saturday night, having some fun at San Pedro, and then getting out there. Trav, excited to. I'm really excited for the Friday pre-round team meeting that you and I talked about. I think that'll be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of good stuff.
I'm really excited for the Champions Dinner. I love getting the opportunity to shake the spouse's hand or hang out with, some of the team members' kids in the simulator playing mini golf. My daughter Kaylin will be at the Champions Dinner. My wife Sabrina will be there. I like the family interaction because I truly love thanking the wives and the girlfriends and the spouses and the kids for letting these team members kind of escape to the golf course every other week for the whole year. So I love giving that high five, and I like the Champions Dinner. But I'm really excited to host the first ever tour Straka School on Friday at Meadow Ranch. We'll have a team meeting, and in that team meeting, there'll maybe be some PowerPoint presentations. Not sure, but
I've already started working on stuff.
I'm so excited for PowerPoint presentations of Straka books. Like, I can't wait. High Meadow Ranch has a huge projector that will put the scoreboard on and stuff like that. I can't wait to put Straka on a 20-foot screen. I'm like a kid in the candy store with a Straka book.
Travis is golf nerd, yeah.
I know, I love it. I'm so
I had someone come up to me today while I was on the range, and they were like, "What is that book you keep looking at?"
I'll tell you one thing.
I'm out there playing on the Straka book on the range.
Yes,
Yeah,
practice with purpose. I love that.
Yeah,
Practice with
I'll
purpose.
tell you one thing. Like when I played the state mid-am at Midland Country Club this year, back in August, or I'm sorry, end of September, that was my first time being there as well. So I learned the golf course real quick. But I think having the Straka book like I did helped a ton. Not necessarily on the golf course side, but around the greens. The greens were so good. They rolled so well. But knowing where the breaks were, seeing the arrows, seeing the how much aim point, how much slope there is in each green,
Yep.
really helped a ton.
I just
Yeah.
love Straka for 3 reasons. There's 3 reasons why Straka helps me. And the first one is the most Travis answer I can give you. It gives me something to do. It gives me something to touch.
Distraction.
Yes, it gives me, but the distraction is keeping me there. The distraction is about the context, right?
Instead of the squirrels in the tree or the book.
Yeah, exactly. Or the cell phone or the food and beverage or whatever. It's keeping me there. So that's number 1. Number 2 is for confirmation. This is what I got. Straka confirms.
Yep.
Boom. And it's like having a caddy with me all the time.
Yeah.
And then the third thing that Straka does is if you're clueless, it can get you going the right direction. So those are the 3 real key components for me that positives that Straka provides every shot.
Yeah.
Not just on the greens. More so on the greens, but not just there.
But also, like on par 3s and par 4s, you can see if there's a big slope and you want to be in the right spot, you don't want to put it 30 feet to the left or right, and then you're putting downhill, and it's so hard to putt.
A 20-yard chip
Correct.
may be better than a 30-foot putt.
100%.
Yes. Yes.
I'm looking forward to playing. We played there, and we didn't have Straka books when we went there and played. We went and played it blind. I'm very excited to go play it now because I played the course blind. I loved it. I played well. Now I have the Straka book, and I'm like, okay, now I really know what my lines are. I know what my angles are. And to your point, the greens and positioning into the greens is going to be crazy huge too.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and special thanks with our partnership with Straka
Huge shout out.
and Strakaline for providing those books to the team. This is exactly what I was going to say. Tour golfers use this promo code STXAMTOUR. Can't forget that one, eh? 20% off Strakaline products. It covers shipping. It covers shipping. The promo code does, and MD has the trail collection.
I have all the trail. I have everything for Kohler.
Everywhere
Frenchwood
I
just
go,
came in.
everywhere I go, it's just Straka books.
Yep.
Oh, it's gonna fall. Ah!
Oh.
We should have got off the air a minute ago. All right, it's gonna fall. Here it goes. All right. Okay. Straka, use the promo code. Get your stuff. You'll see the guys use it in a lot of photo content, and I'm really looking forward to hosting the first ever tour Straka School.
Yep, that's gonna be a lot of fun.
Spelled
Guys, that is it for us tonight.
SKOOL.
SKOOL. Guys,
That's your Minnesota, Wisconsin in you.
Straka School.
Well, that's all I got for us tonight, guys. Dustin Weldon, appreciate you jumping on, hanging out with us here for a while.
Of course, yeah. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, awesome.
Co-hosting
Awesome job.
and giving your insights and feedback. Travis, as always, thank you for being with us. Everyone out there who watched, hung out with us here for the last almost 2 hours, thank you. Lots and lots of good stuff to come here over the next week. We are a week away, 7 days from getting in the car to head to Houston.
Officially, the first match tees off in 8 days, 14 hours, and 40 minutes.
There's
a countdown on the web.
We will have that posted as well. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. We will be back Tuesday night, back to our normal time, 8 o'clock Tuesday night, South Texas Match Play Challenge show. Potentially a guest or two joining us from Houston Amateur Golf Association.
Love talking to Randy McKay.
So
Maybe we can
lots
get
to
Ron
be
Hill, our
done.
captain, to join us as well this year.
I'd get George back on too. George is freaking hilarious. So lots to talk about, lots to do. But guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. We will see you on Tuesday night. Keep a lookout on Facebook for pictures and stuff like that from this weekend's practice round and party. And aside from that, guys, have a happy, safe Thursday night and a good Friday. And we will see you guys soon. Good night, everybody.
See you guys.